Well, the 90-day challenge is nearing the end. Everyone, you guys are cranking it up now with only 4 days to go?
Trying.
What are you doing?
We've been a bit busy here, but...
Well, I don't expect you to do it during working hours, Alex.
They expect me to take work home, don't worry. Yeah.
So, how are you guys insofar as your goals? Are you close?
Yeah, I'm behind in my listening.
Right.
So I'm going to work really hard this last weekend. And writing as well. Writing is still challenging for me.
Yeah, but listening, you're behind in your listening because you haven't reported it? Because it doesn't necessarily record on the site, and you just don't listen?
Yeah, I don't listen enough.
Okay,
So.
my advice, at home, wear these like headphones, and if your husband says something to you, ignore him. Okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Alright, that's bound to make him very happy.
Good advice.
Just go shh.
Okay.
Alright? But writing is difficult. Yeah.
Because I have to look up each word, so it's really...
You have to look it up because you don't know the ending or you don't know how to spell it? This is French.
Yeah, how to spell it.
How to spell it?
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell you how I cheat? Because I'm doing Korean, right? And the last time I submitted writing, it consisted of 2 parts. One part was where I copied what was in the textbook, because I was learning to write, the Hangul. And the other part, I dictate, because there's dictation software on my Mac. So when I copied from the book, I had more mistakes than when I dictated. All right?
Poor typing skills.
You see? And the thing is, the dictation is about 80%, 70%. Like sometimes it'll be quite accurate, then just get garbage.
That's strange that you would have typos.
Yes, it is.
You know, normally your writing is typo-free.
Well, typos in Korean is a given because they have their great Hangul alphabet that they're so proud of. Essentially, O can be one of 2 sounds, one of 2 symbols.
The sounds are A, that can have the same one, and Ye. But in fact, those are the only 2 that are the same.
But when you say onul, O. Tell me the difference between O with one of these guys and one of these sticking up versus the vertical guy with a little thing.
So one is A and one is O.
Okay, but when you hear them speak it, it's the same. And half the time, even the oo sounds like an O.
It can sometimes.
So it's actually I find it very difficult to figure out which of those symbols it is. But my dictation is pretty good at it. As long as I say it close, it comes out all right. So, and this is a problem in French because you got all the accents. That's why dictation, if you want to bump up your writing...
Dictation is a great way of doing it.
You got a Mac, don't you? No. Dictation on the Mac.
But you have an iPad.
Yes.
So
the iPad is phenomenal for that. Phenomenal. I should show you, but I have my iPad there and I just think of what I want to say and I just read it in. And occasionally I don't know a word, so then I go to I have Google Translate as a dictionary. So I go to Google Translate, look up the word, I come back, I dictate. And what I found for Korean, you have to dictate like 1 word at a time. Otherwise it just kind of runs it all together.
Oh, really?
And Korean, not only do you form the symbols are collect to form 1 syllable, call it, and then that bunches together with another collection of symbols to form a word, then they make a little space there. And in my first submission I got marked down for having spaces in the wrong place. So yeah, writing is, but I tell you, Mark over there phones me up, he says, Dad, you haven't met your goals.
You're not going to meet your goals.
You're not going to meet your goals. What do you mean? Well, you haven't listened enough, you haven't learned enough words, and you haven't written enough. And I said, well, I listen like an hour and a half to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
I just haven't recorded. So it's easy. I just slam 100 hours in there. Not a problem.
Close enough. Right?
Close enough. No, because it's at least...
Yeah, that's
for sure.
And then the words, I just went through in the vocabulary section. I sorted them by frequency. and started out with the most frequent words, the 4 asterisk words, and I already know most of those, even though I haven't necessarily worked my way through them on my flashcards, because I've been exposed to them so often that I know them. And so I just went through there until I had 600 or 700 words that I know. I was down to the 1-star words by then. Fine. But the writing, and I've been resisting the writing because you got to learn all these little squigglies, and it's hard, you know? It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not like you type phonetically. You actually have to move your mouse on the keyboard, this virtual keyboard on the screen, and you click on this upside down, you know, L or whatever it might be, you know, all the little squigglies.
Yeah.
So after a while, your elbow is sore, but the solution is the iPad, the dictation, and even in terms of typing, you just have to touch the screen. It's a blast. And you should get yourself a French keyboard. Do all your writing on your iPad.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
but don't type it all out. Record it, then go back in and correct the missing. And
Especially in French
Yeah.
with the accents, because it automatically puts them in. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I did figure out even when typing French, when I was writing in French, that the best thing to do is to write without the accents, because then you have to get the French keyboard and remember which key is which, and it just
Yeah.
it takes too long. Just
Right.
write it out, and then do the spell check, and it finds all the accents
Yeah.
for you, right? Most of them, and you miss a few, so what?
But you know, one of the many annoying things on YouTube now. The most annoying.
There's a long
There's a long list. One of
It
the
just
most
keeps
annoying is they
growing.
automatically put some stuff into spam. So every time I go to answer, there's like 4 or 5 items there that have been, for some reason, put into called spam. Nothing spammy about them at all.
Right.
So I have to go in there. So I've got people who commented 3 months ago on some video that I did, however long ago,
Right.
and I'm not aware of it. And when I go in and see, I'm looking, I got one comment there that's live, and then I see I got a bunch of stuff in spam, and I see that there's messages there that are 3 months old that Google, or at least the Google, decided were spam for some reason. Another thing that really annoyed me, somebody came on and said we should, on link, we should, once you link a word, then any word that's related to that word should be considered known. That's the point of view. Don't necessarily agree. And I said, well, yeah, it's helpful to provide, and we may in fact do that, to provide some connection to some related words, but it's not obvious. And so then I go say, well, people may not say they save the word aller to go, right? Aller. Then when they see the word vont, like ils vont, I couldn't write the word vont because Google kept on converting it into font. I would go V-O-N-T, try to
So
move on, font. And I had to go back. And
I don't know that
I think
that's
that's-
Google.
I think that's your operating system.
Your Mac.
Was that my Mac?
Yeah.
So in the end I had to go with an arrow. Like once I written vont, then I had to move with an arrow. Because I was pointing out, you got aller, but then you got vont, V, I, iront. There's so many
That's
different
that,
forms. And it's not obvious
autocorrect.
for a learner that's
Yeah.
connected, right?
What I can't figure out is autocorrect on the Mac sometimes activates and sometimes doesn't. What determines which program it's active in? I haven't figured out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just be nice to be consistent.
Yeah.
But it is annoying when it corrects words that are. But it's the same when you
I've
type
turned it
on your
off
device.
everywhere.
You've turned it off on your device too?
Everything, yeah.
Because
just
it's the
annoying.
stuff that you catch.
I think
But
it's
the
a-
stuff
it's a
that you don't
lazy
catch.
excuse for
And you
bad
might
typing.
send
I
something either very stupid or an insult or something.
Right.
Well, that happens a lot. Like you type something and then you press, like especially when you're texting someone and you have autocorrect on, happens all the time. Like people send me messages and they say like, yeah, let's meet at GoGo. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, sorry, I meant, whatever. And I'm like, but it's totally unrelated. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But when you're typing a message, you type it and then you press enter. You don't look and then...
However, when I look at what I actually type before they autocorrect it, I type total garbage.
That's
So the autocorrect is pretty good.
Well, the best thing with autocorrect is when you're switching into a language, like on YouTube, I get people commenting in Spanish and other languages, and it'll pick up the fact that I'm typing in Spanish, and it'll pick up Russian, it'll pick up the language that I'm typing in, and correct it for me. Otherwise, I'd have to go get the keyboard
What is this?
on YouTube when I'm answering. It'll pick up, and so
It's going to be the same. It's your
accents
operating
which are extremely, like
Yeah.
even in Russian, you got the little, whatever you call that guy, so you gotta go find the keyboard and stuff.
Yeah.
Just does it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have 4 days. I'm gonna be working hard. The only goal that I'm behind on now is writing. But because I cheat, and I use dictation,
Yeah.
which is okay.
Why is that
because
cheating? All you want to do is
speaking.
practice sort of without speaking. No, but you say it,
Right.
then you correct it and make sure it's right. That's kind of the idea. You want to think about what you're
Yeah.
going to say,
Actually, it's a
write it
wonderful
out,
way.
and make sure it's correct, and try to submit something more proper than when you're just speaking. Right?
It's output. It's output. It's actually very, very good.
You've inspired me now to do my. I still have like 300 words of Italian to submit for writing, so I'm going to try the dictation
There you
method.
go.
And I tell you, getting I have had 3 different people correct my Korean on our exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never done that much because I've always felt, I'm more into listening and reading and stuff. But it's a great feeling when you get your corrected text back. That someone took the trouble to go through it and there's some comments there and then I import it and I study the words and try to figure out which in Korean. I'll never remember, Chegel, which of the A's is in there. I don't know. But it's great.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you pushed me. Sometimes we need to be pushed. So I'm pushing you. And you.
Sure.
I can't be the only one who completes their
the
goal.
challenge. That's right.
Mark will. Mark will
Yeah.
uphold the Kaufman tradition.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, back to the grind now.
Yep.
Back to studying Korean.
What